Hi there, welcome back to my channel. So today what we're going to do is another foundation review. This is for the Revlon Insta-Filter Foundation. This is a drugstore foundation. You can find it at Ulta, Walgreens, Target, etc. The reason I wanted to try this is because it's supposed to be literally like an Instagram filter. It's supposed to blur out any imperfections, supposed to kind of bounce the light off the right way. This is Revlon's description of it in the Influencer website. Quote unquote, our newest flawless finish foundation with built-in blender so you have a perfected makeup look anytime, anywhere. Our innovative formula works with your skin type and evens and smooths your skin tone to leave you with a fresh faced, natural finish. Full range of high definition shades, medium buildable coverage, all day wear, high definition filter technology captures and transforms any light to blur and soften flaws. So, like I said, basically Instagram filter in a bottle. This retails at Ulta for $17.99, and with a buy one get one half off deal, it comes out to $14.51. I also got a lipstick, which for a drugstore foundation is pretty expensive because they average at about $8 a piece. I know like Maybelline Fit Me, everyone loves that one. It's about $8, well $6 to $8 depending on where you go. For this to be almost $20, I'm expecting a lot from this foundation. Now the shade that I picked out is number 200 Nude. The Ulta I went to actually had testers, so I was able to test it out to find this shade, which I think I did a pretty good job. It's a little light for me, but unfortunately the darker shades were a little bit too pink, and the shades after that were actually yellow were too dark for me. So that's why I picked number 200 Nude. Now I have pretty oily skin with a couple dry patches depending on how my face is interacting with anti-acne masks, medication, things like that, because my skin is very acne prone. So that's the skin type I have, just so you know ahead of time while I'm trying out this foundation. Keep that in mind. Alright, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Just click that little red button next to my name. And don't forget to follow my social media channels, which I have right up here, for updates on not just makeup, but fashion and travel and lifestyle as well. So if you want to see the foundation review for the new Revlon Photo Ready Insta-Filter Foundation, you are in the right place, and keep on watching. Alright, so first what I did was I primed with my Carez Wild Rose Smoothie Primer. Now the reason I use this one instead of a different one is because this is supposed to be a smoothing type foundation, Insta-Filter. So I'm not going to use a smoothing primer because then that defeats the purpose of testing whether this foundation actually smooths out your skin. So instead I used a moisturizing brightening one. My skin has been feeling a little drier in these areas, I think because of extra anti-acne skincare I've been using. So although I tend to be a grease ball throughout the day, when I wake up in the morning, the past couple days it's been slightly dry with these dry patches down here. Also because these are like this weird new skin kind of, I don't want to say a burn because I feel like that's so strong. I'm not sure if it's some kind of like rash or something from overuse of anti-acne skincare or something, like maybe like a chemical burn, I'm not really sure. I just know it's been peeling, new skin's been coming through, so we'll see if this foundation is good at covering that as well. So yeah, like I said, I primed with the Wild Rose Smoothie from Carez, which I love. And as you notice, also it kind of gives you like this instant brightness, so I'm loving that as well. And that is also set in my skin for a couple minutes, so now I'm able to go on ahead and try this out. Also, yes, you probably noticed that I'm wearing the same robe that I am in almost every YouTube video, because I'm obsessed. So my intimates, just sponsor me, please. Just send me all the robes that you make because I literally live in this robe. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. But anyway, back to foundation. So like I said in the intro, I'm going to be trying it with the sponge that it comes with on one side and my kabuki brush on the other side. This is what I use for all of my other foundations right now. And the reason I'm using this sponge instead of a beauty blender is because the whole point is that you're supposed to be able to put it on with this sponge. So we'll see how well that comes out. So let's pop that open, and you just kind of twist it up. And I like how it's not like a click top, it's literally like you're just gently pushing it up, so it's not like click click, and then once you do one click over, it's like blah, blah, blah. Any day now. I'm supposed to do some of this. Okay, cool. Okay, got it. And one thing I will note is that the sponge is very dry. It doesn't say anywhere to like dampen it, because then it's like, how do you wash it? So just going ahead and stippling this in with the sponge applicator that it comes with. Honestly, I feel like half of this is going in the sponge because it's so dry, and the other half is going on my face. But starting out, coverage isn't bad. It's not streaky or anything, which is good. Trying to build it up on some of these kind of more scar-ridden areas. So the funny thing is, if you do more of a stippling motion like I typically do, you end up with these little like dot formations on your face from the little hole inside this part. So gentle kind of swiping motions are going to give you a little bit more smoother coverage. Okay, so I'm gonna come in a little closer so you can see what I see in terms of texture. And this is supposed to be Insta-Filter Foundation, right? You think, is it supposed to be Insta-Filter? It's gonna smooth over dry patches, not really have them show up as much, kind of decrease the appearance of pores. But with this, I'm not necessarily seeing it with the sponge application. Definitely evening out my skin tone, definitely smooth coverage overall in terms of not being so streaky. But in terms of Insta-filtering, I'm not really seeing 100% of those results as of yet. I do see a little bit less of pore area in here, like it's not totally being prominent, but I was expecting a little bit more from this. So I'll come a little closer so you can see. And then this is like that kind of, it didn't even feel dry to my like fingertips before putting makeup on, but it is pretty darn pasty looking. So let's see what it looks like with the Kabuki applicator on the other side. And definitely a lot faster, a lot smoother, and a lot less product being lost. So I'm gonna say the sponge is gonna be much more of an emergency type thing, to where if I'm taking this on the go for touch-ups, then I'll bring it with me. But otherwise, that took so much longer. As you saw, I mean, there was little dots everywhere. I had to smooth them out. But with my brush, oh my God, so much better. So honestly, I'm not seeing such a huge difference in texture from the brush side and the sponge side using the Kabuki brush for this area. However, I do see a little bit more of a pore action here on this side versus the sponge side. So in terms of overall smoothness, this was a lot easier to apply it with. However, I might want to finish with a beauty blender after, just to make sure it really gets pressed into the skin like I did with this side with the sponge on the actual foundation, which I'll come in a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the side with the brush, and this is the side with the sponge. So you see the difference isn't tragic to where it's like, oh my God, I have to use the sponge. But in general, I do have to say I would probably still use the Kabuki brush and probably finish with the Beauty Blender, only because this is just so much easier to use. Just in terms of that Insta-Filter effect, I would probably finish with the Beauty Blender. Also, I really like how it feels on the skin. It honestly still kind of looks like skin. Like, I feel like it just sits really nice. It's not like clumpy, it's not thick, it's not, you know, you're still getting great coverage without having all that cake face come with it, which is what I like about it. Definitely not transfer proof. But overall, like I said, I don't hate it, but I also don't love it, so we'll see how it wears throughout the day. I'm gonna put the rest of my makeup on, and I will see you in a minute. All right, so I'm back. Makeup is on. Real clothes are on. By the way, this is a shirt from Topshop, and I'm obsessed with it. There's like little puppy schnauzers on it everywhere. And then I have a bunch of these pins on here. I don't know if you can see them all, but some of them are from Winky Lux, which you should check that brand out too. And one of them is from Honey and the Hive. It is this one that says, just wing it. You know, I love my winged eyeliner. But yeah, so definitely check her out. I'll put her link down in the description box below as well. And yeah, so after doing my full face of makeup, I was like, sorry, sidetrack on my clothing. But so overall, again, I don't hate it, but I'm also not necessarily in love with the foundation. I find that after setting it with powder and doing the rest of my face, I feel like some of it just kind of came off a little bit in this area where the scarring is pretty prominent. So this is medium buildable coverage, so I'm not expecting full shellac coverage to cover all the scarring and things like that. So it definitely lives up to that point where you can sheer it out, where you can build it up to medium coverage. Totally agree with that. Do I agree with the Insta-Filter aspect of it? Not necessarily. I still find that there is almost an addition of texture to my cheek area that other foundations don't necessarily do. I don't have actual dry patches on this side, so the fact that it kind of added almost like a, I don't know if you remember from Lion King, like how that desert area was all like cracked and stuff. I'll throw a picture up here. But that's kind of how I feel like this side of my face is reacting with it. Also, I have like a full-on old lady wrinkle in my forehead, and this foundation just does not help with that. It just kind of settled. I had to keep buffing it in, setting it with powder again. So that part I wasn't really happy about. In terms of first wear, don't hate it, but I'm also not obsessed with it. Will I probably end up keeping it just from this wear? Most likely not, honestly. But we'll see how it wears when my oils come through. It might look even better, so we will see. And in terms of that, it is now, drum roll please, it It is 11:57 a.m. That is our starting point for this. So I will see you in about 5 to 6 hours to see how this foundation is wearing. All right, see you soon. All right, so it is now 6:48 p.m. I'm at the 7-hour mark. I was out shopping today, so I didn't have a chance to do the 5 to 6 hour mark. But in general, it has just been the same for the past couple hours. My face is super duper shiny, like literally the amount of highlighter I put on just for this part, I understand that shininess, but the fact that my grease level now matches an actual super intense highlighter, not good. The one thing I have to say though, the makeup hasn't totally broken down, which is good. So that's kind of that Insta-Filter-esque thing that I was looking for. So it's almost like my oils came through and kind of blurred the rest of the makeup. But in terms of the fact that I'm trying not to be super duper shiny to where I feel like greasy, not a fan of that. But in general, I just don't like the way it feels. It just feels sticky. There's just a lot of grease up here. Like, I don't know if you can see. I'm going to put another clip of something up here where I went to the bathroom and you can see direct light on my face. Like, literally, it's like shining a mirror into the light. It's super, super greasy. This is it, actually. I don't think I would wear this any further than this. It's just going to get worse in a couple hours. So if you have, like, oily combo skin, this is not my favorite thing. Even if it is about, you know, $17.99, it's a lot less expensive than, say, a $40 foundation. But in general, I just wouldn't purchase this. There's so many other drugstore ones that are so much better. One of them, like I said, being the Revlon Color Stay for oily combo skin. I'm obsessed with that. It's super long wear, great coverage. Actually blurs a little bit better than this, honestly, in my opinion. But like I said, this one's just not a winner for me for many reasons. One of them is the sponge eats up half your product, really doesn't blur as much as it says it does. For my oily, acne-prone combo type skin, well, I'm oily, but this would be the same thing for combo people who have oily skin in their T-zone and things like that. It's just not really a good long wear type thing, and it really doesn't blur like it says it does. So yeah, so that is my review for this foundation, and now to the extra. Alright guys, that is a wrap. Thanks so much for watching this video. I always love doing foundation reviews because I like trying to find things that will either do something totally different, very innovative, things like that. So I'm glad you guys took the time to watch this. It was really fun making it for you guys. Like I said in my other video, it's been a long time since I've been on YouTube, so I'm really excited to start making more videos for you guys. And yeah, so again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you enjoyed it, and follow my social media handles so you can get updates on not only makeup but fashion, travel, and lifestyle. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! According to the description of this product and in the influencer website, quote unquote, so honestly, I'm not seeing. Now this is medium.